you remember visiting arcades back in their heyday and wishing you could have one of your favourite arcade machines at home? Well, now as adults we can realistically make that dream come true. Hello and welcome to this retrospective video about the classic arcade experience before it became a massive rigged claw machines and ticket-spouting novelty games. We're going to be looking at ways we can try to recreate that experience at home. We're considering places we can visit now that preserve that classic arcade experience, and we'll be taking a detailed look at the Evercade Alpha Bartop arcade machines, one of which I have right here thanks to a recent birthday. And of course we also have your featured comments to look at, where you as viewers get a chance to share your memories of the subjects that we're covering. And don't forget, if you need to skip to different parts of the video, you're welcome to use the chapter markers that I've placed along the video timeline. Now, I've done various videos on this channel about old toys and games that gave us something resembling an arcade experience at home. Astro Wars from Rastan being one example, Galaxy Invader 1000 by CGL was another, and of course I have to mention the Vectrex as well, which was a valiant attempt at providing the public with a scaled down arcade machine that they could play with at home, and I'm still kicking myself over narrowly missing out on getting one of those back in 1984 when Woolworths was selling them off for next to nothing. Truthfully though, what we really wanted, and many of us still do, is an authentic experience at home that makes us feel the way we did when we first got our mitts on Space Invaders, Bobble, or whatever your favourite arcade machine was from those formative days. Beyond those cheap electronic games I've already mentioned that many of us had growing up, the idea of actually owning an arcade machine was prohibitively expensive, as they were state-of-the-art technology at the time that was generally rented by arcades, social clubs, fish and chip shops and numerous other businesses that were able to make their money back from us punters endlessly pumping in the 10 and 20 pence pieces. There have been a number of options available for a while now for those of us who want to recapture that old arcade machine experience. We've had relatively affordable full-size arcade cabinets available, including the Arcade 1-Up range of home cabinets and the At Games Legends series, which also include digital pinball machines that use angled TV screens to emulate the pinball experience. These, however, still present the problem of taking up a big chunk of space in your home, as well as costing anywhere from £400 to £1,700, depending on the specific machine, and that is quite a significant investment by any standards. A cheaper option would be Numskull's quarter arcade machines, which start from around £200 and offer a miniature 1/4 size replica of specific machines. For example, this Burger Time replica is currently £220, which is more affordable than those full-size options, but you are only getting the one game, so that's something to consider when weighing up your options. A cheaper option for the technically minded among us has always been emulation, whether that be running emulators on a computer or setting up something like a Raspberry Pi device with emulation software installed. It's an effective and flexible option for running arcade games, but can come with its own legal pitfalls, as strictly speaking you're supposed to already own the original games that you're running, and of course you're playing the games on a computer screen or TV, so you don't get that arcade cabinet experience, unless of course you stick a computer into a Flatpack arcade cabinet, but this brings us back again to the issue of cost and available space. For those of us who aren't that technically inclined, there's always the plug-and-play option, cheap devices and consoles that plug into your TV and include legal, fully licensed collections of built-in games. These are a mixed bunch, ranging from simple joystick controllers right up to Evercade's range of consoles which run games from physical cartridges. A great option if you want one device that's easy to use, with the option of expanding your game collection in the future. And they also have handheld versions of their consoles as well, which use the same cartridges. I also have to mention these modern retro arcades that have been popping up for a few years now, one example being the Pixel Bunker in Milton, Keynes, which is the closest one to where I live. And while they're not a home arcade solution, they do offer an opportunity to play on a great selection of original vintage arcade cabinets, usually for a one-time entry fee, no 10 pence pieces required. It's a great way to physically relive the experience of walking around amusement arcades as we remember them from the 1970s, 80s and 90s. And this brings me finally to the home arcade solution that I opted for. Thanks to that recent birthday, I was able to indulge in an Evercade Alpha Bartop arcade machine. These come with a selection of built-in games and give you the ability to expand your collection of games by purchasing additional game cartridges, the same cartridges that work on the Evercade TV consoles and handhelds that I mentioned earlier. These miniature arcade cabinets with full-size controls stand at about 40 centimeters tall, that's 16 inches. They feature an authentic arcade stick, 6 fire buttons, plus a start button, coin insert button, and a menu button. On the front you'll find the illuminated power switch, which is designed to look like a coin slot. The grey volume control rocker switch is just under that, with a headphone socket to the left, and USB sockets on either side, which allow the use of 2 extra USB controllers for up to 3-player gameplay. Those 2 large openings are the cartridge slots, where you can insert additional Evercade game cartridges. Inserting 1 or 2 cartridges adds the games from those cartridges onto the menu screen. The illuminated marquee panel at the top is another nice touch. It's currently displaying the Rastan artwork on mine, and this can be easily swapped out for other designs. As you can see down here, this machine was supplied with 2 extra artwork panels, Space Invaders and Bobble, so you can choose to display whichever one takes your fancy. Sound from the internal speakers is emitted through the speaker grills drilled into the sides of the machine, and while it's not super boomy, the sound is powerful enough to satisfactorily complement the arcade gameplay experience, and I'm personally really happy with the sound quality. On the back you'll find some vents to prevent internal heat buildup, and there's no fan sound by the way, which is good. There's a detail sticker just under that, and the USB-C power socket is at the bottom, and a cable is supplied along with an adapter to power this from the mains. I must also point out that there's no HDMI output here for TVs, although this isn't something I personally wanted, as I can't really imagine why I'd want to use this cabinet to play games on my telly. There are 4 substantial rubber feet on the bottom of the unit to prevent slipping around on flat surfaces, and overall I have to say I have been impressed by the quality of this machine. It appears to be a sturdy, solid MDF construction which has been appropriately laminated and painted to give it the look and feel of an authentic arcade cabinet, and after owning one for just over 2 weeks now, I can safely say I have no regrets. There are 3 models of the Evercade Alpha available, each offering a different selection of built-in games, joystick styles and cabinet designs. You can see them up on the screen here on the Evercade website with lists of the games included. There's a Street Fighter edition with 6 different versions of Street Fighter games built in, a Mega Man edition with 2 Mega Man arcade games plus 4 other arcade classics, and the version I opted for, the Taito edition, which offers a wider range of arcade titles, the 3 biggest draws for me being Bobble, Rastan and Space Invaders, and I'll be demonstrating all 10 of the built-in games later on in the video. The Evercade Alpha bar tops are widely available in the UK from many outlets. Mine came from Argos, and the prices have been fluctuating recently, but you can expect to pay between £200 and £230 depending on where from, but do look out for some places cheekily inflating their prices when stock levels seem to be low. I have seen them on sale for as little as £160 though, so it's always worth shopping around for those kinds of deals. The Evercade game cartridges are also widely available, and these are generally priced at around £20 each, and they have varying numbers of games on them, but they are usually themed collections, so choosing what to buy is often a case of picking and choosing the collections that suit you personally. Some that I have in my collection only have 1 or 2 games that I really wanted to play, with the other games just being a bonus. This particular cartridge, Irem Arcade, was one that I bought because I really wanted to play R-Type on my arcade machine. The other 5 games on the cartridge are a bit throwaway for me, but I've enjoyed playing them anyway, and there are a couple of classic arcade bangers on there as well, so they didn't disappoint. However, the American football game, 10-Yard Fight, can get right in the sea as far as I'm concerned. Whether you're playing the games built into the system or adding cartridges, all the games are accessible through the Alpha's menu system. Covering that briefly, the sections down the left navigate different parts of the menu. The Alpha menu provides access to the built-in games. The cartridge menu will show a list of all the games on any cartridges that you have inserted. The Star menu provides access to extra free games. Here, hidden games can be unlocked with codes, and occasional free temporary bonus games also appear here when you update the Alpha using Wi-Fi. The Library menu is a list of all currently available cartridges and games, along with information about each. And the Settings menu is self-explanatory, but worth mentioning is the ability to change the menu theme, aspect ratios, TV scanline effects, and background bezel images for games that don't quite fill the screen. Each game includes a synopsis and some historical information, control instructions and personal stats, and game options for adjusting the setting for that particular game. During gameplay, pressing the menu button brings up an in-game menu, allowing you to save and load game states, view the controls, change the display settings, reset the game, or quit to the main menu. I'll show a few moments of gameplay from each of the 10 built-in games now, and there won't be any commentary, so if there's a particular game you want to see, you can go ahead and use the video's chapter markers to find the game you're looking for. Well, that's all 10 of the built-in games, and I'm super happy with this machine and what it has to offer, not to mention the prospect of adding more games in the future. And credit to Evercade, they've been doing a great job of releasing new game collections on a regular basis. There are loads to choose from, and I'm actually quite excited to see what they have in store for future releases as well. Now, it's not just all about me and what I think, so I put some feelers out on social media for your thoughts and memories about arcade gaming experiences from the past or present, and only a couple of people responded to this one, so here's what they had to say. Lee Hiroki at HateSlick on YouTube loves the Evercade because of the way the cartridges are curated into special collections that you can really dive into. Usually with games just a click away, the choice can be overwhelming, and you can end up spending more time browsing than actually playing. But the Evercade cartridges do the selecting for you. Lee's currently enjoying the Neo Geo carts at the moment, especially the Metal Slug games. Yankee Tyke on YouTube loved Bobble and its two spin-offs, New Zealand Story and Parasol Stars, two of which are included on the Tato edition of the Evercade Alpha, and he's tempted to get one just to play them again. The music in those games, particularly Bobble, is an earworm that once you've heard it, never leaves your brain entirely, and Yankee Tyke likens it to the Magic Roundabout theme tune, which by its nature tends to loop around in your head endlessly once you have it stuck in there. And finally, Fuzzy on Blue Sky remembers the magical aura that the arcades had when he was a kid, a bit like going to the movies. Visiting proper arcades was seen as an occasional treat though, as he only came across them on family holidays. The closest he ever got to a home arcade experience in the 80s was the Star Force electronic game, which he still has, and shared a photo of it in his comment post. He does remember a few standalone arcade cabinets in local establishments too. For example, there were World Cup 90 and Shadow Dancer machines in the local football club at different times. The newsagent by his school had Street Fighter 2, and his local leisure centre had his all-time favourite, Rampage. This reminded me of the Space Invaders cabinet that my local chippy had, and at my local cinema the 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles machine. Best of all though was the Double Dragon arcade machine in the Tesco staff canteen, where I had my first job at age 15. Fuzzy remembered Double Dragon fondly too, and spent most of one of his family holidays in the 80s playing Double Dragon in the small arcade at the hotel where they were staying. So do you have anything to share about retro arcades, past and present, or of home arcade setups that you've built or bought for yourself? If so, go ahead and post them in the comments, and I'll look forward to having a chat with you there. And if you'd like a comment featured in a future Retrospectives video, follow me on my various social media platforms, where I'll be asking for your thoughts whenever I'm after comments to feature. We're going to finish up now with a bit of bonus gameplay footage, but before we do, I'd like to thank everyone who supplied their comments, to thank you for liking and subscribing, and of course to thank you all for watching Retrospectives.